Well, I thought I'd started recording, but I suppose I didn't. So now we literally are legitimately 2 hours from when I intended. 2 hours and 20 minutes from when I intended to start this. Wow. All right, we're gonna start in. I really, truly thought I started this already, but it's okay. It's all right. Great conversation happened before this, but Mark 4:21 through 25 is where it's gonna begin. Mark 4:21 through 25. It's here in Matthew again. Mark 4:21 through 25. He said to them, "Do you bring in a lamp to put it under a bowl or a bed? Instead, don't you put it on its stand? For whatever is hidden is meant to be disclosed, and whatever is concealed is meant to be brought out into the open. If anyone has ears to hear, let them hear. Consider carefully what you hear," he continued. "With the measure you use, it will be measured to you. And even more, whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them." Once again, I'm going to just disclosure. This is all random. I started in 6-7 piles before I even made the video about the 6-7 project. And then I kept, they ended up in multiple baggies. And then I ended up consolidating them all just randomly, just putting them together because my brain was like, whatever God wills, whatever my hands grab and put together, that's the message. Then I put them in 3 baggies, and then I color coded them, and I just chose one, and labeled it 1, 2, 3, and then I started from there. So all of this is random. I did not put any of these together methodically. These are all randomly drawn cards from the deck I made of all the New Testament of just Jesus, and randomly put together in a random order. And then now I'm reading in the order that I had chosen them randomly, just on whatever day, real loosely, I assure you. Now, anyhow, John 13:26 through 27. 13:26 through 27. John, make sure. Nope, we're in Mark. God bless America. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. John 13:26 through 27. 13:26 through 27. Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." Then, dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. So Jesus told him, "What you're about to do, do quickly, for I am with you." Because I didn't realize, I honestly didn't know that he actually named it, and named Jesus, or Judas, I mean. But in the same breath, you have to understand that it just goes back to Jesus is everything he says. You have to understand that it's for I'm with you, for I'm always with you, and so he had to say that because that's who they're going to think. And then also, Judas kills himself right afterwards, so that's the why. Like I said, I, um, went to I told the Catholic Church ladies that when I went to go eat there, and because I was reading the Judas scriptures, and I was like, I think that Judas betrayed Jesus by killing himself afterwards. He was supposed to write it out. And it was just a warning to all the disciples, don't do that. That's not the way. You don't just get to, because the love of forgiveness, like, because when they realized that Jesus had to be, or Judas had to betray Jesus like that and hand him in for the scriptures to be fulfilled, then they would, get a wild idea that that's the way out. But that's betraying. Suicide is a betrayal to Jesus, to God. Anyway, but yeah, to prevent them from doing that. But once again, it still stands to ask, why is there only Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John when there are 12 disciples? Why are there only 4 that are witnessing him right now out of 12? So Judas isn't the only one that betrayed him. Who's to say the others didn't? Who's to say it's just not something to be said so that it's a checkpoint within yourself when you're being refined and pruned, and to a question to ask. How do you know the answer if you don't ask the question? Yeah, you got to know the boundaries and the rules. And then the rest of the boundaries and rules are in here. Matthew 20:1 through 19. Yeah, through New Testament, and then look through the lens of New Testament, through the lens of Jesus, his words. Then you look at all the law and the prophets, and you look, at the whole Bible, all the old things, and then you put it together. It's an equation. It's a continuum. It's a continuum. The reason I call it a continuum is because no matter what point you reach, that's why Solomon was like, it's all meaningless. It's like chasing after the wind and grasping oil in your hand. Because the point of surrender, of understanding. There is no power above you, and the power that is tangible. The power above you is anyone around you. That it's nothing and no one, like, that you can touch, that you can, and it's like, why would you want to anyway? It's just the whole earth, and that's why the whole earth in the universe is made like the inside of a body. It's just to show you that there is an invisible God, and He's not anything less than a loving God that wants the best for you. That's what I mean by continuum. He's the wind, the waves, the light, the sounds. He is everything. He is everything good in the world. That's correct. And he said, even Jesus said it himself. That's why he said, "Who told you I'm good?" Because there is. Then when you come to character of human beings, there's people are like, "Well, what do you mean if that God's everything? Why does He allow this?" Okay, everything. God is everything good in the world. Everything else is the consequence of the apple. That's why we are all Adam's dream. That's why Jesus is the body. We have nowhere to go, but with everything, the only thing we have is what we have. There's nothing new in the world. There's nothing new. Everything all these things add up. It's just a point of surrender. It's a point of comfort as well. When the Spirit is in you and you understand the power of God, when you understand the power of resurrection, and when you understand what it means to say you can't, you lay down your life and you pick it up again. You can be so close to death, but you don't have to die, because you can choose to live. You can find your why, and you can try, petition to serve God, who is love, who is light, who is change, who is, when you choose to serve, to bring heaven to earth and get away from riding the highway to hell. And you'll see when you head that way, when you meet God Himself on the other side of death, when you choose instead to put away and kill the parts of yourself, in a sense, what they would call that, oh, that person doesn't exist. Just like the flowers wither, just like the grass is cut, just like the sun rises and sets. And that in itself is about character. Don't let the sun go down in your anger. Meaning, once you understand the flowers and the cutting of the grass, it's just another step in refinement and recovery from old ways. And it's a suggestion, and it's one that's good. Don't let the sun go down in your anger. It's not a there's no state of punishment at all for any not following any of the things. That's the reason for Jesus. We should never condemn. That is the accuser is Moses. So the people of the condemnation style. So just think that Satan of the world is the energy and spirits of the condemnation style people of the world, who chose to shut out God's people, to prevent them to getting to heaven because their judgment, because they judged instead of leaving the judgment for God, because they chose to take their blessings and then condemn others instead of finding understanding and choosing the God of peace in the midst of them. They chose self-righteousness, to be haughty and boastful in what they have received from God. Instead of remaining in the humility, they put themselves at the places at the tables. You know, for me personally, I am forever a servant. There's a kingdom, and then what is always outside of a kingdom? And when Jesus says, "My friends," we will all have kingdoms. My 12 friends, and we'll judge the tribes of Israel. That means that's 12 kingdoms in a land. So a country with 12 kingdoms. Just think of a country with 12 kingdoms, and what do those kingdoms have? They have workers, they have servants, they have people who live outside the castle walls in villages. I am forever a village person. That is what I mean. Always take the lowly place. Matthew 21 through 19. I'm in Matthew 5, so I know I have not read it. 21 through 19. I might have to do one on this one, because then I'm about to go eat a salad. Because I did like 40 minutes of talking before I even pushed record. I know we're only 12 minutes in, but let's see. 21 through 19. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire workers for his vineyard. He agreed to pay them a denarius for the day and sent them into his vineyard. About 9 in the morning he went out and saw others standing in the marketplace doing nothing. He told them, "You also go and work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. He went out again about noon and about 3 in the afternoon, and did the same thing. About 5 in the afternoon he went out and found still others standing around. He asked them, "Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing?" "Because no one has hired us," they answered. He said to them, "You also go and work in my vineyard." When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, "Call the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last ones hired and going on to the first." Oh, I just got the really great message on that one. Because who are these people to complain about this man's business? He's ensuring that he gets the workers to come back. But also he's testing their spirit, as if I paid you this for this hour's work and I paid you the same as everybody else, so you'll come back. But if you start getting haughty and greedy on me and demanding that I pay you more just because you got paid a lot for a lot less in the beginning, then I know your character and then I can remove you from my vineyard. Right, because it's testing of character. It's a good business practice. The workers who were hired about 5 in the afternoon came and each received a denarius. There, I had another breakdown of that from a different perspective. 3 to 5. You have to understand everything's got 3 to 5 ways of perceiving it, and they're all truths. because everybody has a perspective and everybody has a truth to live, and from their point of view, it is truth, from their understanding and comprehension. So okay, Matthew 29, the workers who were hired about 5 in the afternoon came and received a denarius. So when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But each one of them also received a denarius. When they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. These who were hired last worked only 1 hour. They said, and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day. But he answered one of them, I am not being unfair to you, friend. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the one who was hired last the same as I gave you. Don't I have that right to do what I want with my own money? Are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first will be last. Oh, it's only through 19, and it's at 16, so. Now Jesus was going up to Jerusalem on the way. Now Jesus was going up to Jerusalem. On the way, he took the 12 aside and said to them, We are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death, and will hand him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged and crucified. On the third day he will be raised to life. Luke 9:41. Matthew, Mark, Luke 9:41. You unbelieving and perverse generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you and put up with you? Bring your son here. Mark 4:39 through 40. And that should be it. How long shall I stay with you? It should be the title. I'll tell you plainly, because of what the whole testing of the heart, what it means to you. How long shall I stay with you? In what way is it being said? Just like everything Jesus said, it can be taken multiple ways, and that's the point of it. Because who do you believe your God to be? Who do you believe Jesus to be? What kind of character? What kind of person? And what does it say about you? Because that's the purpose of it. A pruning, a refinement, overcoming the mind, putting Satan under your feet. Yeah, you're putting your enemies as a footstool. Beauty and the Beast. When the inanimate objects come to life because they house life, because I don't know, maybe the creators were saying, is a protest, silent protest in the days of, is that, because in those days the church has had it wrong so far. The people that they have chosen to be, has their lives has ended with the reputations of being the footstools. There's still life in them. There's more life than the world around them has ever given them credit for when it comes to the church and the way that they judge. Mark 4:39 through 40. Four 39 through 40. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, Quiet, be still. Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" John 8:58. Just John 8:58. Okay. That's at the end of a pretty long. Anywho, John 8:58. "Very truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "before Abraham was born, I am." Matthew 23:2-12. 23. 2-12. Then Jesus said to the crowds, 2-12, so not 1. Okay, Matthew 23:2-12. "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their phylacteries wide and the tassels on their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called Rabbi by others. But you are not to be called Rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth Father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven." Brothers, because Adam and Eve, the man and the woman, they become one flesh. The head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is man. "And do not call anyone on earth Father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. For all fall short of the glory of God." When he was telling Peter, "I will build my church on you. You all are sinners. I came for the sinners." Or we call each other, we're instructors and Father. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, good thing Jesus said, "I forgive you. Your sins are forgiven." That nobody is perfect, and I came for the sinners. "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Alright, I'm going to eat a salad because although it's only been 24 minutes on here, I assure you I've been talking for an hour now.